Good morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics of the day and the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense and just the right amount of sarcasm by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. All right, today is Tuesday, June 5th, and I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can also find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Truth Social, TikTok, all those social media sites by searching Larry Steinhouse. And of course, just a reminder, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you can. I still don't know if we're on YouTube or not anymore. It doesn't matter. But like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook, and you can comment live during the show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And please say hi so I know you're watching. By the way, if you're commenting from a group and it's not the Money Chat Now fan page, your name may not show up on my dashboard. So please go to the Money Chat Now page, comment there, like it, actually comment there so I can recognize you. And of course, Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com, and there you will learn about real estate investing, stock options trading, tax savings, all kinds of cool stuff that you have to do about money. All right, real quick, I want to say hello to quite a few people who have joined us online so far. We've got Glenn and Bill and Peter, of course, my lovely wife, Linda. We have Moshe and Michael and Charles. Thank you so much. I always appreciate you guys watching. Thank you, thank you. All right, I also want to remind you that today is Interview Tuesday for our online audience. Each Tuesday, we plan to bring you a great interview with interesting people and introduce you to their products, their services, or just their good intentions. Hey, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. That's thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. Let us know why you want to be interviewed, and I'm sure we can make that happen. Today we have Anjum Bhandari from India. This is actually pretty cool. She called in from India, and it's a really cool interview. You actually will enjoy it. So stay tuned after the show for this interview. Of course, today we have coming up, we have the recap and update of what's going on. We have gun control, interesting article on gun control. We have excess inventory in stores, and we have the rich Democrats turning against Biden. And of course, you know, it's it's just the typical stuff every day. And of course, we have today's picks and plays, right? All right, I hope you had a great Independence Day celebration. And let's bring you back to Friday, which was the beginning of the second half of the year. I started off with a bang. The Dow actually finished up 321 points. The S&P is still in bear territory, but it finished up about 40 points, and the NASDAQ finished up about 99 points. One of the higher returns of the day was a company called Apartment Investor and Management Company. The symbol for this company is AIV. And I got to tell you, this company is an apartment complex REIT, and it was up about 6.5% on Friday. Now think about this, right? You would think it would be the opposite as we start to hear rumors of home prices dropping and houses staying on the market longer. We are also hearing rumors of foreclosures ticking up as well. So why is AIV moving up? Well, my best guess is that investors are realizing that rentals will be the wave of the near future. You have everything from people not wanting to buy because they feel prices are going to be too high, to those who have decided they can't afford to keep their houses any longer. As some have said, low-income housing may be the play into the future. Middle-class housing rentals may also be a play in the future as well, and this could be why AIV and some other REITs have moved up. Just for reference, AIV was trading pretty consistently in the $2 to $3 range from 2015 to 2018. Of course, it dropped in the scamdemic, but it broke 4 at the end of 2020, and now it moves between 6 and 8. This is one to watch as we head to the so-called recession. Just a reminder, we'll definitely report a recession this year, I have to tell you. However, it will hardly be noticeable. The next one, probably at the middle or the end of next year, will be the one that will hurt. Not all recessions are noticeable. Keep that in mind. The fear of this coming one will be the most pain of this one. The next one will be the real issue, so wait for it. Or hopefully it doesn't happen, but it'll happen. By the way, millionaires are made in recession, so be prepared to take advantage of all you need to do in the next 4 years. They will bring you great riches on the other side. I did notice that the chatter on the financial channels are mixed today. We have some experts who are saying the recession is imminent, and others who are saying the market is poised to bounce back. Look, here's my thought. We're going to be headed for $26,000 to $28,000 range in the future in the Dow. That's basically if my chart reading is correct, and it should happen between December and March. It's coming. Once again, I looked at the futures last night and I thought it was going to be a really great day. However, I noticed it changed really fast this morning. The futures were positive and then negative, but let's look at them now. Let's see what we have a general feeling for the day. So according to this chart, which we pulled this data from, according to this chart, the Dow is down 70, but I have to tell you it's actually down more because this chart includes yesterday. So even though the market was closed yesterday, the futures kept ticking yesterday. So the futures were actually up yesterday. And now because they're down, this chart is actually low. It's probably closer to minus 150. And according to this chart, again, the S&P is down 20 and the NASDAQ is down 37. All right, let's talk a little bit about an interesting topic. Let's talk about gun control. Real quick, I want to say hello to a couple of people who've joined us. We have Joe and Mark and David and Tom and John. All right, let's get into gun control. Once again, over the weekend, some crazy guy shot up a 4th of July parade. Look, I did notice that this time the social media posts weren't all about how we should control and cancel guns. They were more focused on the victims and the manhunt. I mean, it's terrible no matter how you look at it, but it's nice to know that at least people aren't using this to be political. So as you may already know, a 22-year-old man who's been identified as the likely subject of interest was arrested last night. He was accused, or will be accused, of killing 6 people and injuring dozens of others. Let's just look at his face. I mean, the guy looks like a murderer. All right, I guess that's a terrible thing to say, but it's the truth, right? All right, this is a terrible tragedy, and it brings so much sadness. The face-tattooed weirdo has not divulged his motive yet, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if he was protesting the Roe versus Wade decision last week. And certainly we will see. And with all these crazies shooting schools, malls, and other public places, the people have begged the government to do something about it. We all know the best way to keep this from happening in schools is armed guards and metal detectors. But, why would you want to do the logical thing when you could blame the gun and the gun manufacturer for killing people instead of the person who actually did the killing? I saw a great meme the other day, and it said this, right? It said we have armed guards to protect adults in courthouses. We have armed guards to protect adults in airports. We have armed guards to protect adults in offices buildings. And we have armed guards to protect the adults in government. But we have no armed guards to protect the children in school. How appropriate. Unbelievable. Well, last week we had what some called the most significant gun laws passed in decades. And maybe that's why the Democrats have slowed down, or the liberals aren't posting all over Facebook what happened. But here's the really weird part. Let's discuss the sweeping gun law change. But first I want to remind you of one thing. This is something that Joe Biden said about gun laws in 1985. So in 1985, he said this: "During my 12 and a half years as a member of this body, I have never believed that additional gun control or federal registration of guns would reduce crime." I guess that's when he wasn't a puppet of the Democrats and actually was allowed to think for himself, because what he said is absolutely true. But let's get into this law, and let's talk about the most significant gun law in decades, right? By the way, this new bill that passed was labeled a bipartisan bill. Look, we all know the rhinos who voted for it. However, I got to tell you something. I may have also. And let me explain. The House approved it by 234 to 193 margin as the 14 rhinos joined the Democrats. The legislation heads for the President, Joe Biden, who's actually expected to sign it, and the law will provide the following rules. The biggest change is that the law would enhance background checks on those who are 18 to 21 years old. These background checks may include opening sealed records from before they turned 18. I'm going to tell you right now, I am for this idea. Yes, we have a law that says the records of minors committing crimes are sealed for their protection, but I don't really agree with the law. If someone killed someone when they were 15, why should that be not known to the public? Why would you want to live next door to somebody who's 22 years old who killed somebody when they were 15 and no one knows about it? So again, I'm definitely for this idea. In fact, I'm even for not sealing the records, or if you do, let's seal them over a period of time. Let's say 10 years after the crime. So the guy commits this crime at 15, he turns 21, it doesn't get sealed till he's 25. Anyway, the government was hoping to ban AR-15 type weapons from those under 21, but this is not in the bill. Of course, it would be unconstitutional. Here's something very ambiguous. The law would also set up grants for states to encourage red flag laws, which allow police or relatives and acquaintances to petition courts in order to have the removal of a gun if an individual is deemed dangerous. Let me take a minute here and discuss red flag laws, because some people get very confused by them. Red flag laws make perfect sense on the outside. In fact, I'm all for red flag laws if I knew they weren't going to be taken advantage of. The idea of red flag laws simply states that if someone has a tendency towards violence or has made threats, it might be a good idea to take away this person's gun, at least for a short time. Right now, in many states, including Pennsylvania, if someone files a restraining order or an order for temporary protection against another, the guns are automatically removed from the person who the TRO is filed against until a hearing. You know, guilty until proven innocent. However, this is the idea of a red flag law. Because of the guilty until proven innocent, these red flag laws may be easily abused by someone who simply doesn't like the other person. Red flag laws are good in theory, but not so good in practice. And frankly, would it really work anyway? Personally, I don't think so. Like this crazy guy this weekend. What red flags did he show up that someone might call the police? Yeah, he had a couple of posts on Facebook talking about shootings, but it didn't say, I'm going to kill somebody. Anyway, the red flag laws were not chiseled into the bill. They were just ambiguous mention of them, and they will offer incentives to include them in state laws. Here's something good, and it crosses over into reality as well. The bill will fund school safety and youth mental health programs. We all know that the number one reason for gun violence isn't the gun, it's mental health and upbringing of the characters who inflict this violence. As a plus for Democrats, they feel that mental health programs have been underfunded anyway. So they feel good about this part of the law. And that's it, folks. That was the sweeping gun control bill that passed. It's fluff. It's all fluff. Well, maybe now the government and the liberal news media will back off the chance of more gun control. After all, this is the biggest change in gun control in decades. Idiots. I swear, they're all idiots. All right, let's take a break here so I can reload. No, not reload my gun. Reload my mind with the next topic. Don't you red flag me, and don't you call the police. All right, we'll see you guys in a minute.
Okay, so you thought about buying and selling real estate. You've thought about investing in the stock market, but don't know where to start. Well, what if you could find a place to unlock strategies to master both real estate and the stock market, all without the headache? That place is Investor Schooling, hosted by Larry Steinhouse, an expert in real estate, financial literacy, and the ins and outs of the stock market. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate, and you will learn mastery of stock techniques such as options and covered calls. You will even get a chance to ask one of your burning questions to the stock options sultan, the master of picks and plays. Call 866-424-2829 for free information and receive a complimentary pass to attend classes, or register online at investorschooling.com. Don't delay. These passes are limited. So what are you waiting for? Call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. Or visit investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829. That's 866-424-2829. Hey, I want to thank you all for listening on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. And if you're watching online, please hit that share button. Come on, everybody. Go up to the video on the bottom. You'll see where it says share. Click the share button and just share it now. Hit the share button now, so you can help your friends, and they'll all learn about how to make more money, and they'll be entertained, right? Hit that like button. Let me know you enjoy the show. And you can also leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. By the way, if anybody's on YouTube, let me know if we're even on the air anymore, because I'm not even sure. But you can leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, and I'll try to respond to them live. All right, so far, of course, we've been discussing the recap and update. Right now, the futures, well, according to this, they're down 83, but I think they're really down 200. The S&P down 22 and the NASDAQ down 43. We talked about the ridiculousness of the most impressive, most important gun control bill ever passed. Really? This is how they're going to spin this? There was nothing in this. We're going to be talking about coming up, we're going to be talking about excess inventory, and we're going to be talking about rich Dems turning against Biden. And of course, we're going to have today's picks and plays. But did you guys hit that like button yet? Did you guys hit that share button yet? Come on, hit the like button, hit the share button. I want to say hello to a couple of people watching. We got Dave and Tom and John and Lewis. All you guys, I always appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. And let me know what you think of the show. Let me know what you think about my gun control article. All right, and also, before we start the second half, did you guys order my book yet? Go to wherever fine books are sold and look up Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. You can get it on Kindle or Nook right now, and the physical book will come out in about 2 weeks. So make sure you go order it. Go order it right now. And also, if you've ordered it and read it, please leave me a review. I totally appreciate that. All right, let's get into the second half. Let's talk about excess inventory. Well, it looks like we're about to have the opposite problem we had last year. Remember when we couldn't find many of the goods we wanted because of the supply chain issue? Some of these goods were items like clothing and furniture and simple electronics and appliances. Well, it looks like stores like Walmart, Target, and others are now overstocked with many of these goods and don't know what to do with them. That's a stark difference from last year. In fact, to me, it looks like the signs of inflation will certainly be decreasing, right? Maybe Powell will start to ease up on the interest rate hikes and slow them down a bit. He still needs to raise them, but he just needs to slow them down a bit. Here are some notes from the field. Target warned in June that profits will be hurt as it canceled orders with vendors and offered discounts to get rid of excess merchandise. Homebuys, a Columbus, Ohio off-price retailer with 8 stores, is selling name brand washers and dryers at 40% off the regular prices. Before COVID, we wouldn't even have washers and dryers in our stores, said Brady Churches, the chain's chief executive. So he never even had washers and dryers, and now all of a sudden he's got them. The market for those items is normally tight, and there isn't a lot of excess. Mr. Churches said there's more excess merchandise now than at any time in the past 2 decades. Past 2 decades! He's been scooping up lawn and garden furniture and apparel, particularly winter sweaters and other cold weather gear that arrived too late for the selling season. The secondary market is swimming in apparel, he said. His company, by the way, is making money on buying the excess merchandise from the big retailers at a discount, so that way the big retailer won't be stuck with it. This is going to be a wave of the future. Watch and see your local dollar store all of a sudden having more merchandise than usual. We will also see merchandise going on sale everywhere. The recession is coming and people will have no choice but to spend less. The excess merchandise will be sitting in stores, and the stores are going to need income, so let the sales begin. Expect liquidation-type stores to open and flourish in the next 2 to 3 years. And as for me, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be looking for housing inventory that will be on sale. Prepare yourself because it's going to happen. By the way, I wanted to remind you today also, for those guys online, it is Interview Tuesday for our online audience. Each Tuesday, we plan to bring you great interviews with interesting people and introduce them to their products, their services, or just their good intentions. Hey, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. That's thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. And let us know why you want to be interviewed. Most likely we'll have you on. Today we have Anjum Bhandari from India. And I'm telling you, this is a really cool interview. She called in from India. We had a really interesting interview. Make sure you stay tuned and watch this interview. All right, let's talk about rich Dems turning against Biden. Well, it looks like the greatest thing Biden has done for this country is that he made the rich elite Dems who run some of the biggest businesses in the country turn to voting Republican. Look, we heard about Elon Musk and his disdain for this president. Musk has tweeted things like the president is someone who just reads off a teleprompter and that his administration failed to get much done. In another tweet, Elon Musk declared his turning away from Democrats by tweeting this: "In the past, I voted Democrat because they were mostly the kindness party. But I become the party of division and hate, so I can no longer support them, and I will vote Republican." He added, "Now watch their dirty tricks campaign against me unfold." And he was right. It's exactly what happened. Well, Jeff Bezos is now added to the group of Biden haters. Jeff Bezos criticized President Biden for calling on companies running gas stations to lower their prices. Do you believe this idiot actually did that? Braindead Biden, in a tweet on Saturday, said, "This is a time of war and global peril," and demanded that the companies lower gasoline prices, which have soared to about $5 a gallon in many parts of the country. Bring down the price you're charging at the pump to reflect the cost you're paying for the product. And do it now, the president said. What an ass. But Bezos recently slammed him for this. In a tweet, Bezos said, "Ouch, inflation is far too important a problem for the White House to keep making statements like this. It's either straight ahead misdirection or a deep misunderstanding of basic market dynamics." I got to tell you, Bezos, I think it's both. Bezos has locked horn with Biden administration in the past. In May, he accused Biden of misleading the public and blamed the administration for a spike in inflation. So it looks like the conservative capitalists are coming back to earth and realizing these idiot Democrats who get appointed because of their identifying gender instead of their actual skill set are complete failures. I'd be willing to bet that when the midterms, if the election is fair, that is, a red wave comes, gas prices will drop about $1 from its high. So watch this. Wait till November. The elections win, we all turn red states. I would bet $1 drop by November. Or December, I should say. Watch for it. Make sure you vote for lower gas prices in November, because that's what you're going to be voting for. You're going to be voting for lower gas prices, and you're going to be voting for freedoms. All right, let's take a break here, and I'll see you in just a minute. Hi, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and I've written a book called Money Hacks. The subtitle to this book is Because Everything You Think You Know About Money is Wrong, and I promise you there are things you think about money that are wrong. There are chapters in this book that I think you will find absolutely fascinating, and some of them are, what is money anyway? Can money buy happiness? I'll bet you don't know the answer to that question. The truth about credit scores, how you can actually use credit cards to rebuild your credit. I also have chapters on being your own bank, how to buy houses with an IRA, and how to invest with other people's money. There are so many other chapters. There are 22 total chapters in this book, and I promise you're going to learn how to make more money and pay less taxes when you buy this book. My name is Larry Steinhouse. The name of the book is Money Hacks. You can get this book wherever fine books are sold, and you can go to barnesandnoble.com right now and pre-order it. I hope that you will enjoy it. All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. Come on, guys, you guys ordered a book yet? If you're watching online, order the book. If you're in your car, take out your phone and order the book. What are you waiting for? All right, so far we've been discussing the recap and update. We talked a little bit about what was going on Friday. We talked about the ridiculous gun control bill. I mean, really, it does nothing. It actually does absolutely nothing. I'm finding it amazing that they call it the most extensive gun control law in the past 10 years. We talked about excess inventory, and we talked about rich Dems turning against Biden. Coming up, of course, we have today's picks and plays. But did you guys hit that like button? Did you guys hit that share button? Come on, everybody. A couple of people joined us, Michael and Marty. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Let everyone know what great stock plays are coming by sharing this information. Of course, you could share on your page or in groups that you feel may benefit from the great stock plays. You can also leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about the politics behind the stock market. By the way, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, go to the WWDB page on Facebook and just let everybody know that you like listening to the show, because I'm curious to see if there's anybody even on WWDB anymore. All right, let's talk a little bit what's going on. Hey, it's another day of what do the investors think about today? By the way, the normalcy of reading charts and buying the dip is getting really complicated. The market isn't behaving very well lately, and we all know whose fault that is. Let's go, Brandon. But still, the investors keep sticking their toe in the water, and it seems like the water is boiling hot. The VIX, who some relate as the fear indicator, has been stuck in the 26 to 30 point range. It used to be that when the VIX went as high as 16 or 17, the market would become dangerous. And now it looks like the new normal is the range of 26 to 30. Earnings season is here, so it's time to take your stake in the ground. This is where it gets really dangerous, especially, like me, I'm stuck in a bunch of plays, so I don't know where to go from here. I could either lose some of my my current plays, or I can just stick it out and see what happens. But by the way, most companies such as Meta and Apple and even the banks do really well into earnings. But like you, I'm a bit nervous. So let's see if we can take a look at the futures. And the futures right now, I think we'll have a little bit of technical difficulties. Oh, there we go. We got the futures right now. We got the, so according to this chart now, I'm going to tell you right now, according to this chart, it's down 138. But I'm going to take a look at the other chart. It's down 178. So it's not as bad as a difference. It's still pretty bad though, right? And on the other side, of course, we have the S&P is down 30. The NASDAQ is down 71. So not that great. Look, gold and silver. By the way, real quick, let's talk about Bitcoin first. Bitcoin is hovering in the 19,000 range, And as I've said before, 12 to 13,000 is the next level. I'm telling you right now, Bitcoin is going to go to 12 or 13,000. So just don't buy any right now. If you're crazy enough to want to hold it, that's fine. I think you're nuts, but it's going to 12 or 13,000. Ethereum is just around 1,100, and that's going to 700. And by the way, the rest of the junk coins are all falling too. All right. So gold and silver, I got to tell you, gold and silver is doing terrible too. This one totally baffles me. I expected gold and silver to do better by now, but it's just not happening. Gold fell below 1,800 and silver fell below 20, and it's really, really annoying. Ugh. So the Treasury bond is sitting at about 2.9%, and it used to be when the Treasury bond went up, the Nasdaq stocks went down, but nothing is making any sense. The Treasury bond is at 2.9. I mean, look, it's about double where it was last year. That's fine. But at the same time, 3% Treasury bond isn't that bad, and it's not really moving up. I would expect it to hit 3.5 and be dangerous, but it's not really happening yet. So I don't understand it. I think it's time for the stock market to actually get up and start doing things again. Oil is moving down, and it's about 108 a barrel, and the average gas price moved down to $4.80. I wonder if the gas stations lowered their price at the pump just because the great dictator requested that they lower their price. Maybe he's an effective president after all. We went from $4.84 to $4.80 as an average. Maybe he's really good. Maybe we should vote for him again. Yeah, okay, sure. All right, whatever you say. Hey, I want to remind you, of course, that it's also Interview Tuesday for our online audience. Each Tuesday, we bring you a great interview with interesting people and introduce you to their products, their services, or just their good intentions. And, of course, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, you can go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. That's thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest, and let us know you want to be interviewed. And by the way, of course, today we have Anjum Bhandari from India. I tell you, this is a really good interview. You'd actually enjoy it. It's actually fascinating, some of the things she talks about it. I also want to thank all the listeners on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. I want to thank you for your continued support. And, of course, if you're enjoying the show, please reach out and let me know. My name is Larry Steinhouse. I am the host of Money Chat Now. I am the CEO of Investment Schooling. And remember, if you'd like to contact me directly, you can contact me at contactlarry.com. That's contactlarry.com. For you guys online, stay tuned for the interview. And the rest of you, have a profitable day.
WWDB AM Talk 860. Stream live at www.dbam.com.
Catch food, farms, and chefs.
I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to today's Money Chat Now interview. In this portion of the show, I take the opportunity to interview interesting people and introduce you to their products, their services, or just their good intentions. By the way, if you'd like to be a guest on my show, you can go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. That's thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. Let us know that you want to be interviewed, and we'll set it up. All right, let me tell you a little bit about today's guest. Our special guest today was like many people out there, and she was frustrated with her job. She, like many of you, would go to work, and she was not allowed to be creative. She didn't have any creative freedom. She didn't have any creative location-based freedoms. She basically felt that going to her job in an office every day was mundane, and it didn't bring her happiness. So finally, one morning, she decided she just was going to quit. So without a stable income, she was nervous, but she decided to make money with, of all things, Instagram. Wow. Right? She made this business into a true revenue stream, and now she is teaching her secrets and experiences to business owners. She is a social media obsessed content creating nerd who turned her passion into a career. I'm really curious to find out how I can build my Instagram account. So let me introduce you to my guest, Anjum Bhandari. Anjum, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here. It's pretty neat. So I got to ask you a question. Okay, so right now you're in India, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
So I got the weirdest question for you, and it has nothing to do with the interview, but how did you find me to get on my show?
I found you in one of the mutual Facebook groups.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So it was the podcast Facebook
Yeah, that's
group.
the
Okay.
beauty of.
I like it. See, advertising actually works, right? You didn't even find me on Instagram. Of course you didn't find me on
Yeah,
Instagram.
no.
I know you didn't find me on Instagram because I have no idea how to
Yeah,
use it.
not on Instagram. Okay,
So
let's change that direction.
yeah, we're definitely gonna have to change that. How can we not change it? I mean, I got the Instagram guru here, and now you're gonna have to teach me how to do it. So all right, so you're working in a job, and what kind of job are you working at? Can you tell us?
Yeah, I was in a corporate firm, um, the typical 9 to 5 corporate firm where you go and come back and do the same repetitive work every day, each and every day. Um, so yeah, I was into corporate.
Okay, okay, great. And then you just said I've had enough of this. No, do you just say I had enough of this without any Instagram knowledge, or did you have Instagram knowledge before?
So I'm a millennial. I know how to use Instagram, right?
Okay.
So it has grown with me, right? So I know the basics of it. I have seen it change as I've gone through all of the changes that Instagram went through along with me, along as I grew up. So I definitely knew what Instagram was. I had a personal account as well. But when I started out, it was just not Instagram. I worked on Facebook as well. I worked on some for some time. I worked on LinkedIn as well. I also did sales funnel for some while. Then I just started out as a freelancer. But Instagram is something. It hits home to me. I love the platform. It makes me. It comes just easy to me, and I really enjoy it. That is why I just niched down to Instagram.
So when you were doing Instagram, when you first started, were you doing Instagram for your own business, or were you doing Instagram for other people's businesses?
I was when I started out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it for myself initially, of course, because I had to put myself out there and show people that I was capable of doing it. And then, of course, I started doing it for other people as well.
Okay, so when you were doing it for yourself, I'm curious about this. Were you selling products on Instagram? Is that what you were doing, or was it something else?
No, it was basically my services, which were the social media management,
Oh, okay, I
the
got you.
all the things that go into that.
Okay, so originally you were doing all social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of these other things, and then now you just became a specialist in Instagram. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
absolutely
if I
correct.
wanted to hire you for all my social media, I can. I can only hire for Instagram. Is that correct?
Yeah,
All right, cool.
correct.
All right, so now if I remember, if I read this right, you had 500 followers on Instagram, correct? When you started?
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah,
How many? And I didn't check, and I should have. But how many followers do you have now?
I have 4.8K right now.
4.8K. Is that right? Okay, so that's not bad. So about 5,000 followers. So I'm going to tell you that I have more followers than you, but I'm going to tell you how I got more followers than you. I cheated. I cheated. I bought
Okay.
followers. I have most of my followers are bots. Shh! Don't tell anybody.
That's the worst thing you could do, and the worst thing that you could tell me that you've done.
Well, I figure with Elon Musk and he's talking about bots on Twitter, I would tell the truth, right? But I did that a long time ago. So I had like something with 30,000 followers at one time, and they were all bots. They were all fake. And the reason I did it was because the guy who convinced me to do it, which I paid him a lot of money to do, by the way, the guy who convinced me to do it
Yeah.
told me that I would get natural followers if I had fake followers. And it didn't
Ah,
really work, but every once in a while I did get a natural follower. But the funny part was this guy has bots, and these bots, they would respond so he would have 4 different categories or 3 different categories, whatever it was. One was like business coaching, which would be mine. One was something else, and one was porn, which was very funny. So
okay.
one day the bots got triggered for the porn, so people were posting porn answers on my post of
Oh,
have a nice day or something, and it was very very funny.
okay. Yeah, yeah, I can imagine that. So that's the disadvantage of it because they're not genuine and they're bought. So they're not going to engage with your content, and that's really troublesome if at all you're trying to do business, especially on Instagram, right?
Gotcha. Yeah. So, all right. So now, let's say you got somebody who has a business like mine, right? So I have a blog, and I'm just going to say a blog. I have a podcast. I also have a show. I'm on the radio every day. I also have a business where I teach people financial literacy, and I want to use my Instagram account to start building business, which I keep trying and I keep failing. Actually, you want to know what I'm really good at? Believe it or not, I'm really good at Facebook. We have a lot of stuff on Facebook.
Oh,
This is going to be on Facebook. So we have a lot of material on Facebook, and that's the only thing I've been able to master. So, and I mastered it accidentally by just posting stuff all the time. Now I have a big following. I have 5,000 friends, because that's all you can get. I have all these groups, etc. But now let's say I want to move to Instagram, which, by the way, from what I understand, my Facebook connects to my Instagram because every once in a while I get a message from Instagram saying somebody commented on something I posted on Facebook, and I still can't figure out how to get to it. So now I want to build my Instagram business, and of course, people would reach out to you, and we'll talk about how they could hire you. But what suggestion would you give somebody who wants to build their Instagram business? What would you suggest they do?
Yeah, so basically, my main suggestion, of course, is to look at their overall business goals. What are they exactly trying to achieve, right? If you just post content and hope that you'll get more likes, you'll get more comments, you'll get more followers out of it, that's just not the only single aim that you can have because you're trying to do business. So, other than that, like for example, that you told you have a podcast, you might have other sources of your business in other areas of your business as well. So, you would have to focus your content on getting people to these sources, right? You just cannot speak about it and then people like your content and just move away. You want to move them through that funnel, through that processes, so they come to your other platforms or your website or your funnels or your messages, wherever you are doing the selling, right? So that is the main thing that I think a lot of people are missing. They just focus on getting people onto Instagram and they are stuck right there. They're not moving forward from there. Like you want people to move also from the platform to other sources where your business is really happening. Right? I think that is the major problem, and that is what I would suggest. Like, look at your overall business goal and then build a content strategy that is going to focus and also serve that purpose.
Okay, so I guess the very first question is how do you get followers, or do you get followers by your content, or do you reach out and say, hey, click me on Instagram? Because it gets to the point where how do people know you even exist?
Yeah, I think that's a matter of your consistency, your content consistency, and it's getting really easy with the introduction of Reels, right? Are you aware of Reels?
Aware of what was that question again?
It's called Instagram Reels.
Instagram V. Okay,
It's a
okay.
feature.
I have no idea what that is.
So it's basically the short form video content, same like TikTok, of course, that came onto Instagram. It's called Instagram
Oh,
Reels.
so like TikTok and Reels.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, hey, producer, don't forget we're going to be putting on Instagram V. God, I'm
It's not
sorry.
Reel. I said Reel.
What?
I said Reel.
Spell it for me, because I'm having trouble hearing you.
R-double-E-L-S.
Oh, Reels. Yeah, right. Reels like in Facebook. Right. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay.
It's the same thing on Instagram as well.
Okay,
It
got
came
it.
to Instagram first and then on to Facebook.
Okay. All right. So if I post something, if I post a reel on Facebook, it shows up on Instagram?
I know that if you post a thing on Instagram and you allow it that you can post on Facebook, it does that.
Okay. Got it.
It's allowing content from Instagram to Facebook. And I think with this introduction of this short form content, it has become a lot easier for you to reach all of your I would say new people through Reels, and it's become a lot easier than before to gain new followers through all of these efforts.
Got it. Very cool. All right, so we're going to take a break in just about a minute, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to ask you some really cool questions on how to actually build this Instagram business, because I'm dumbfounded, and I really want to do it. So we're going to take a break for a minute. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and I've written a book called Money Hacks. The subtitle to this book is Because Everything You Think You Know About Money is Wrong, and I promise you there are things you think about money that are wrong. There are chapters in this book that I think you will find absolutely fascinating, and some of them are, what is money anyway? Can money buy happiness? I'll bet you don't know the answer to that question. The truth about credit scores, how you can actually use credit cards to rebuild your credit. I also have chapters on being your own bank, how to buy houses with an IRA, and how to invest with other people's money. There are so many other chapters. There are 22 total chapters in this book, and I promise you're going to learn how to make more money and pay less taxes when you buy this book. My name is Larry Steinhouse. The name of the book is Money Hacks. You can get this book wherever fine books are sold, and you can go to barnesandnoble.com right now and pre-order it. I hope that you will enjoy it. Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse, and we are in the interview portion, and I've got a expert on Instagram on the line. So we got Anjum. Anjum, tell us. Okay, so right before we went to the break, we talked about how I have all these fake followers. And we talked about how that's a really bad idea. And we talked about how you're building businesses with Instagram Reels, which is kind of neat too. So let me ask you a question. So what kind of, maybe from your experience, you could say, what kind of posts on Instagram would be the most engaging post for someone?
Yeah. So it is not like one fit for everyone. It actually depends on your followers and your audience, of course. But that said, the trend, of course, is going more towards the short form video content, which people are enjoying a lot these days, and it is getting more engagement as compared to the other formats. So I would say at the moment, at least, it's short form video content for sure.
Okay, so the best thing to do is short form video content, which is interesting, because it's
Yeah.
funny. I imagine Instagram was all pictures and that was the whole concept, but now we're back to doing video content, which is, I guess, we're gonna have to do it. I mean, the funny part is, in my studio I have about 15 cameras that are all high quality cameras, so I could just probably do something with that. So that's interesting too. So we've gone to there too. Now, all right, so I'm trying to figure out what kind of so when you say short, right, they have to be less than 3 minutes. Is that what a short is?
It's actually right now less than a minute.
Less than a minute. So all I could do is say, "Hi, I'm Larry Steinhouse. Welcome to Money Chat Now. See ya."
No, you are underestimating 60 seconds. You can do a lot. You can tell a lot
Yeah, I
more
know.
than that.
I know. I actually, because I do a live radio show every day, and sometimes the last minute that I'm trying to fill up, it's like, all right, I wish it would be done already. It's very funny. You think about a timer on a microwave when you're trying to cook something. It always seems 1 minute always seems like a year. All right,
Yeah.
what are some of the mistakes that people make when they're, when they're creating their Instagram account? What kind of mistakes do they make?
Yeah, the first mistake that I highlighted before is just getting stuck on those numbers. Like you were stuck and you bought followers
Right,
because you wanted to look higher in numbers.
right.
So that is the biggest mistake. That they want numbers. They want higher number of likes, higher number of comments, higher number of followers just for numbers. But what they fail to understand is these numbers are not paying any bills. If you are a business, then you would rather have more conversions, more people getting converted
Hmm.
from your
Sure.
leads and prospects into your clients. So I would think that is the biggest mistake I see people doing. Even now, when a lot of people are already aware that numbers, all of these are just vanity metrics. So I would say that is the number one mistake. And second one is, I would say, not really a mistake, but something to think about is showing yourself on camera and getting on this video format, as long as it has that capability for us to get the reach. So I think if you're not comfortable in camera yet, try somehow and get yourself out there, put your face for your brand in front of the camera, so that you get to attach and you get to make connections with your audience on a more better and more personal level.
So what you're saying is, like, somebody shy like me would have a problem, huh?
So you are shy. I'm also shy. It
I could,
doesn't look like it, but
I couldn't resist. I figured you'd get a kick out of that. You don't even know me. By the way, I have dozens of jackets. This is just one of them. This is one I wear for this show. But I have dozens of jackets. So every time I'm in a video, I'm wearing a different jacket. All right. So now you have people, and they're supposed to. So somebody, you put up a post, and I don't know, maybe you put up a post that's motivational, for example, and somebody comments on it, right? And they go, oh, that's a great post. Thank you so much. Are you supposed to engage in that? Are you supposed to like their comment? Are you supposed to ignore their comment? What do you do?
of course, you need to engage their comment, right? They are taking out the precious time in their day to leave some love on your post. Please reciprocate it. Thank them. Thank you for the, good words, kind words. Always reciprocate is what I say, no matter it's in your DMs or in your messages or in your comments or anything that people are trying to communicate with you. Always reciprocate back and keep up that engagement, because if you start ignoring, then the engagement, then everything that you're trying to build will start dropping. It doesn't take any more time.
Okay, so what happens when I get this troll who I put up something that says, I put up "Have a nice day," and he says, "I hate people like you who are so nice." So what do you do with those people?
I think that's also a kind of engagement. It's up to you, however you want to respond to it. I would say if you want to ignore trolls, you can go ahead and do it if it helps you keep your mental sanity. Otherwise, if you want to use sarcasm, please go ahead and do it. Like anything you feel uh, keeps you going, you can obviously do it, because any comment, any words on your post are always an engagement, no matter if they are from a troll or from any other person.
Yeah, I've been put in Facebook jail for a couple of responses to those comments, so I got to back off a little bit.
Okay. I see you're on the other side.
So, how do you like being an entrepreneur now compared to what you were doing before?
Oh, I absolutely love it. I couldn't be more excited to start my day, to start my work, as opposed to what I was doing when I was in my 9 to 5. I don't mind working long hours. I don't mind if at all, and even if I have to spend all night doing whatever uh, my business requires, because it is something that I am doing for myself and I enjoy doing it. And it was not the thing when I was in my job. It's like as soon as the clock struck to 6 or 5,
Right,
I was like, okay, I need to leave.
right,
Doesn't
right.
matter. It doesn't matter. No, I have to
I
leave.
usually had my bag packed when I used to work for corporate. I had my bag packed and it was under my arm, ready to go. And I was like, "Come on, let's go! I can't wait till one more minute."
Yeah,
So I know
that
exactly
was
what you
me. That was
mean.
me.
I hated corporate, so I know what you mean. So, all right, so
Yeah.
it's funny because I remembered reading something where you actually, and we joked about it a minute ago, but that you actually are shy, and you're kind of an introvert,
Yeah.
and it must have been difficult for you to make the transition to start doing videos.
Mhm.
How did
It
you
was
overcome
really
it?
very difficult.
Yeah, how'd you overcome it?
Yeah, it was totally difficult. Like I'm such a shy and introverted person. Even in the real life, if you keep me with a group of people, I wouldn't make any conversation if until they come to me first and they're like this and this, and I would respond, of course, but I am never the conversation starter. I like to sit in my room, so I'm such a shy person. So coming in front of the camera for me was like something totally unnatural. I had no experience in it. I hardly took a few photos of myself, not even selfies. If someone else took my photo, that's it. Okay, so I was such a shy person, but I started seeing that the difference that it makes when you're on video and when you show your full face on camera, the connection that happens with your audience. So I started slow. I started with Instagram stories, which are just like 15 seconds long. Doesn't require much of a commitment, right? So I started with that because I wanted to get used to the idea of me being on camera, listening to my own voice
Hmm.
in camera. So I started slow, and I'm proud that I gave myself time. I didn't want to perfect it in the first go. I did a lot of bad videos. Okay, if you go onto my Instagram and scroll to the initial videos that I did, you hardly could hear me, and there is so
Oh,
much nervousness
interesting.
in my voice. So, so I definitely gave myself time. I didn't think twice before hitting that post button. I was like, okay, I have done. My video is short. I have edited it. No matter how it sounds, no matter how it looks, I'm just going to hit post. So I just try to improve one video after the another, slowly, slowly, and that's how I gain that confidence.
Yeah, I remember, when I first started the Money Chat Now show, it's funny, we go back and I thought I was great. The first show, look how great I am, right? And then I start doing it later. I'm like, what a big difference. I'm almost embarrassed at the beginning one. But you knew from the beginning you didn't even like yours. So now you got somebody
Yeah.
who's shy like yourself. They make a video, and so two things come to mind, right? Uh, do they need to worry about their appearance? Do they need to worry about what they're wearing? Do they need to worry about what kind of camera they're using? Do they need to worry about what kind of audio equipment? Or can they just pick up their cell phone and just start making a video?
Yeah, so I think that is the details where a lot of people get stuck. They're like, okay, maybe I'm not looking good for the camera. Maybe I don't sound good. I don't have the light. I don't have the microphone. All these little details, and they keep procrastinating on the same thing. And they're like, okay, maybe I'm not looking too good for the camera, but you just have to feel good about yourself. You don't have to look a certain part. You don't have to do all of this. Just what I tell them is just do something which makes you feel comfortable. It might be whatever you want to wear that you feel comfortable in, and doesn't require any equipments. You just have to have one device that you can record yourself on, so you can figure it out as you go.
So I'm funny. So I realize from where you're sitting, you can't see our set, but I am such a big fanatic about everything looking so perfect. So that that I'm like the other extreme, right? So when you actually see the repeat of this, you'll actually see the set that we're
Uh-huh.
sitting in and how you're you're framed. And the interesting part is, I go through dozens and dozens of microphones and cameras until I get the right ones that I feel work the best. Now, I'm extreme. It's unnecessary. I mean, I realize it's unnecessary, and it's funny because sometimes I'll find myself, I may be in a parking lot of a supermarket, and I want to make a video, and I'm like, oh, I can't make this video. People will think my camera stinks. So I actually have gotten to the point where I've made myself look, not me personally, but my set looks so good. Because look at me, come on, look, I don't even, I'm just an average guy, right? So I don't look that great, but the set looks great that I don't even want to pick up the camera and make a video like that. So it's gone the other way. But you're suggesting that people just do it. Now, and I believe actually from what I've experienced, it's probably the same thing. The first video, nobody sees it anyway. Because they put their first video up, right? And they're like, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I used that word. I can't believe, and maybe one person watched it, and they didn't even care.
Yeah.
It's as you start to create new ones and more of them, then that you get better at it. The videos get more views, and no one really cares anyway. Is that correct?
Yeah, true. That's what it is.
Yeah, because you seem to be pretty natural in this interview, so you're obviously no longer an introvert. It sounds like.
Yeah, no longer for sure. And it took me a long time to come to this point. I was not this confident being on camera and speaking with such flow. Of course, when I started out, I used to have scripts, like written scripts pasted around. Yeah, I used to I didn't want to forget anything. So that was the mindset. I didn't want to have the frustration of forgetting. Refer to the scripts before I speak. I'm done with one point. I go back. I again see the script. So that is how I did it. I didn't even have that flow at the beginning.
All right,
but
so
I'm glad that I didn't talk.
Oh yeah, sure. So we have just a couple minutes left. How could somebody get a hold of you if they want your help on either learning how to do it or even having you do it? Where could they go?
So the best place would be on my Instagram.
Your Instagram, okay, cool.
Anjum Bhandari.
I'm sorry.
It's give it
one more time because I spoke over it. What was it?
Okay, it's at the rate Anjum Bhandari. It's spelled as ANJUMBHANDARI.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look you up too, and then we can connect. And you also have a website, correct?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Okay, so let's. And what's the website? Your website, brand?
It's anjumbhandarimarketing.com.
Okay, great, excellent. All right. By the way, you were a lot of fun interview. I like it a lot. It's great. And you have no problem working with somebody in the United States, for example, right? Like me, who could probably use this help?
No, not at all. I have a lot of clients in US and Canada as well.
Okay, great. So you're up all night helping those people because I know it's late. It's a lot later for you than it is here.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, I appreciate it. Anything else that you want to tell somebody before the end of the interview? You got about a minute.
What would I say?
Actually, I'll tell you what. Do an Instagram video. 1 minute Instagram video. Go.
Oh my God. I'd say, okay, these are the top 3 mistakes that you're doing on Instagram and you need to stop them right now. That would be my hook.
That's it. And you would just stop it right there?
No, of course I would tell the
you would tell them.
Right? I would tell
okay. Because I was like, wow, that was great. You left me a hook. I didn't know where to even go with it. You want to give us one?
Yeah.
All right, give us one like it's a video. Go ahead.
Okay. Stop buying followers.
Oh, man, that hurts. Oh, right there. Oh, I can feel that one. All right, Anjum.
I had it top of my mind.
Well, with that, I'm going to kick you off. Andrew, it was a pleasure. I look forward to talking to you again, and I'm hoping that this interview helps you get a lot of clients. All right, anyway. All right, I want to thank you all for watching the show. My name is Larry Steinhouse. I am the host of Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is live every morning at 7:30 a.m., and you can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and probably even Instagram soon. Hey, if you'd like to be a guest on our show, you can go to thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest, thelarrysteinhouseshow.com/guest. Let us know why you want to be interviewed, and we'll see what we can do. Hey, by the way, we hope you enjoyed today's interview, and we hope you will tune in again. Make it a profitable day.